a lot of areas to look at for dissertations, I think. One of the things that I've started to look at recently, and Norma alluded to this, was the whole issue of the applied baccalaureate and baccalaureate in community college. What does that mean? And from a reporting perspective, I've just started looking at this myself, is if you look at data that the Department of Education reports, as soon as a college awards one bachelor's degree, they're considered a four-year college. So when they're reporting their data out, it's all reported here in the four-year colleges. So when one looks at certain states where there's a lot of colleges that are offering small numbers of baccalaureate degrees, Miami in particular, suddenly all of the enrollment, all of the completions, everything else is reported as a four-year outcome, not a community college outcome. And the graduation rate survey in particular is interesting because they now report on a different form. It's a 6-year data, and they can't compare themselves with other community colleges on their 3-year graduation rate because it's a different year. On top of that, the most interesting thing is looking at tuition and fees. I did a quick look at tuition and fees nationally. If you take out colleges who were 75% or more sub-baccalaureate awards, the difference in tuition and fees for four-year colleges goes down $300. So in other words, because those community colleges are in there, tuition and fees look lower at four-year institutions than they would otherwise look. So there's real impacts on some of those areas. So I think that's a very fascinating area to look at. What is going on with the baccalaureate degree? What's happening with that? What's the data impact on that? And then looking at just different outcomes and transfers, and then focusing on developmental education. There's a lot of great stuff looking at developmental education. The data is a little bit challenging to get there on developmental education. One of the challenges is that the federal government, when they collect their data, a lot of those students who would normally be put into the developmental don't get into their cohort samples. So the longitudinal data doesn't always, it underrepresents them. Norma mentioned about 60% at a minimum. That's a low estimate of how many students start needing developmental work. It's probably closer to 70–80% nationally.